Okay, everybody, today we're going to do the tragic death and circumstances of Nex Benedict's tragic death at only 16. I cover a lot of sensitive subjects on my channel because I'm not monetized and people have hard time being able to do certain cases and say certain things. I will have to because I was one of my videos was taken down for unaliving themselves video. It was about cults, so apparently I have to be careful on actually saying the unaliving yourself comment or word. I'm going to try my best. I think it's ridiculous if I'm reporting something that's educational. I should be able to use that word because it's not as if it's not everywhere. This Nex Benedict, it's so confusing. One video, one article says he, the other one says they're non-binary, one says they're trans. So I'm going to use non-binary because I feel it's a little bit safer to use they or them than to misgender completely. There's some things I was bullied since I was little, and there's things that I learned that helped me. Don't show them that it hurts you. It may hurt you inside, it may make you want to cry, maybe make you want to hurt yourself. But the more you do, the more power you give to them. Stand up for yourself, stand tall, stand authoritative. Don't let them know that it belittles you. Teachers cannot protect you 24/7. Even as an adult, I get bullied by coworkers, by anybody. Don't let them steal your light. If you may feel horrible about yourself, but everybody is handsome and beautiful in their own way. And beauty and looking good is not just a physical thing. You can be the most beautiful physical, but be the ugliest spirit and person. The world is made up of all kinds of beautiful, different people, shapes, sizes, colors, everything, and they're all beautiful, but can be very ugly in a second. Those that are bullying you have self-esteem issues themselves. They are projecting how they feel. In this case, some of the video cam footage I saw, the surveillance camera, some of them girls dressed awful boyish to me. So I think they were projecting that they could not be themselves. You need to come up with the mindset of fuck the bullies. You be you, your true self. Trust me, I know being a teen is hard. I had a rough childhood, rough teen years. But you try to find you, and you be that best you that you can possibly ever be. Don't ever give up, because there's a lot more to this world yet for you to explore. I will be posting if you ever feel like giving up. There are several. There's ways to text, there's ways to call, there's ways to chat online. There's other outlets. Find somebody you feel comfortable with and talk to them. Because there's so much. I'm 36 years old and I would have missed so much in my life at the time, just a year ago, if I would have just given in. Do not hurt yourself. It's very important that you stay alive because people love you. I've rewritten this script like 5 times now. New things have come up. Just recently they've had new developments. Like I said, I will be using the non-binary pronouns because there's been contradictions on whether this young person, 16, was trans or not, I feel like they were exploring themselves. Whether they were non-binary or trans, maybe one point they felt one way and another point they felt another, which is part of being non-binary. One time you feel masculine, the next minute you feel, well, not minute, but, you know, they may not have known their true self yet. They're 16. They may not know their true self yet. For me, I'm part of the LGBTQ plus community, and it's very important for me to support those. That's why I do a lot of LGBTQ plus videos on my channel, because this is a very important aspect of my life. It took me a long time to be able to come out. Even now, sometimes I have to hide it, and it's not there. So that being said, let's get into the meat and potatoes. Let's see. In 2022, Oklahoma became the first state in the United States to prohibit the use of non-binary gender markers on birth certificates. What happened though? Did COVID cause people to lose their mind and have all the progress we made over the years to just go the other direction? 3 steps forward, 4 steps back. I mean, we got gay marriage okay, and we got people finally coming out, stars and stuff finally coming out. But yet now, Oklahoma, I actually liked Oklahoma. I visited it. I wanted to move there. But now they're going backwards. Like, there are scientists right now trying to discover that people that are born one sex feel they aren't that gender. Like, why they're feeling that way. Finding that way, person brain, I wrote it up for you. I was tired. So, scientists are finding that people born basically, let's say a man is born, a man's brain, and they feel like they're trans. It reacts to things a way a female would. Like, I guess each sex has a brain that acts differently in different spots of the brain. And so their brain reacts the same way the sex that they feel like they should be reacts, and not the way that they're biologically born reacts. Okay, so, and then along with that, they have discovered different hormones, especially testosterone and estrogen, will be higher in those people. Like, a female's body will have more testosterone than they're supposed to have, which will make them feel more masculine and more feel like they should be male than opposed to their female counterparts. With this bill, students are legally prohibited from using a bathroom that does not correspond with their sex assigned at birth. And minors are legally prevented from receiving gender-affirming health care. If my son wanted to be female, I'm sorry, I would make sure that they had blockers to prevent themselves from going through puberty. It's not permanent. They can then stop them and go into puberty like a normal male if they so chose to later. But it's a lot harder for somebody who went through those puberties to become full female. It's a lot more surgeries, a lot more issues. It's just the way it is. Legislation under consideration for the 2024 session includes new curriculum for public schools to describe gender as an immutable biological trait. So, that's just the way it is. A ban on changing sex on birth certificates and a requirement for school employees to use pronouns and names for students based only on birth certificates. What does it hurt somebody to call them or her or anything? Like, it doesn't hurt you, does it? And here I made a comment. What's wrong with people trying to find their true self? Like, does it really hurt your manhood, jelly that the trans female to male might be able to make your wife more happy than you because they're not only into themselves getting off. I know, not very appropriate, but it's frustrating to me. Oh, Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma superintendent, douchebag, of public instruction. This implemented policies that included preventing students from changing the designation of their gender or sex in school records. Like I said, does it hurt you? In January 2024, yes, this January, Walters appointed social media influencer Shea Redchick, I don't even care if I said this bitch's name right, the operator of the Libs of TikTok account known for posting anti-LGBTQ plus content, to the Oklahoma Department of Education's Library Media Advisory Committee. You know, everybody's like, stop bullying and making people think that if you're different, it's wrong, but yet you automatically hire a TikTok bully. In 2022, a middle school teacher reported to have been greatly admired by Nex resigned after being the subject of a post by Shea Cuntface. Nex Benedict. So now we're going to get into a little bit more behind Nex Benedict. I wanted to get into what's going on in Oklahoma right now, their policies, the backwardsness. So Nex Benedict is beautiful, 16-year-old now, or was. She was born January 11th, 2008 in El Paso, Texas. Her mother isn't really known. I haven't found any articles of her, but her egg donor. I can only imagine how much of a winner she is if she gave her daughter up. But her sperm donor's name is James Everett Hughes. They, like I said, I'm going to use non-binary pronouns, were given to Sue Benedict, Nix's grandmother and adoptive mother. Nix's biological father relinquished all parental rights early on and is in prison for abuse. Sue raised Nix since they were 2 months old and formally adopted them a few years before their death. Sue is enrolled in the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma, but Nix was not affiliated with the tribe. Nix and their family lived in Owasso, Oklahoma, a suburb of Tulsa, on the Cherokee Nation Reservation, and attended school at Owasso High School on the reservation. This high school has 1,000 students in grades 9th through 12th. And then I found an affidavit issued on July 17th, 2019 for the arrest of James Everett Hughes for S.A.ing, another word we can't say, a 9-year-old girl. According to Sue Benedict, Nix's friends, students at Owasso High School has been bullying Nix due to Nix's gender identity for more than a year. Beautiful, handsome Benedict was a sophomore in high school. On the afternoon of January 7th, 2024, surveillance footage from the Owasso High School hallway showed 6 students into the girls' bathroom where the incident occurred before Nix and 2 students entered. So we have a total of 9 students in that bathroom. That is a lot of people in the bathroom. In a subsequent interview with the police in the hospital room, Nix told an officer that while they and their friend were in the restroom, Nix heard laughter and comments about Nix and their friends and how they dressed from the group of 3 students they had previously complained to their mother about. Nix said they poured water on the group of 3 girls, and then they came at me and grabbed on my hair. So again, stand up for yourself, but when you do that, you have to be okay with the consequences, but you have to do something. I grabbed onto them. I threw one of them into a paper towel dispenser, and then they got my legs out from under me and got me on the ground. Nix said they were then beaten by the students and lost consciousness. Concussion. Nix told the officer they did not know the names of the 3 students and said the group had antagonized them for days before this altercation. I doubt they did not know the name of the girls, but who's going to snitch? You're not going to, you don't want to be bullied more if you tell the names. You don't want more backlash, retaliation. Even now you get retaliation as an adult from people if you stand up for yourself. Nex said they had only known the students through an in-school suspension. They were all serving, and Nex said the group were all freshman students. Sue Benedict said she was contracted by Owasso High School and arrived to find Nex with bruises on her face and scratches on the back of her head. Sue was also informed that Nex was suspended from school for 2 weeks for standing up for herself. Sue then took Nex to be examined at a nearby hospital and called Owasso Police Department. Sue told the officer about past complaints by Nex about 3 students in the week before the altercation, and that Nex had described the conduct as they're making comments, they're throwing stuff, and they're calling us names. And Sue told Nex to ignore the students. Like I said, stand up for yourself. Don't let them know that it is bothering you. During the interview, the officer asked Nex why they had not reported the past conduct of the 3 students to the school, and Nex replied, "I didn't really see the point in it." Yeah, what are they going to do? The officer indicated it was possible that the incident might be seen as mutual, and Nex could face charges if Sue pursued charges against the 3 students, also stating that the other students had no right to put their hands on Nex. Sue declined to pursue charges at that time because who wants to end up, getting charges against their granddaughter or daughter? The officer also said he could be contracted to reconsider filing charges if after Nex was examined, their injuries were more severe than scrapes and bruises. Losing consciousness and a concussion. So we gotta wait. We can't do nothing until it's severe enough that she's hospitalized, right? Nex was discharged later that day and reportedly went to sleep with a sore head. Head concussion. On February 8th, the day after the altercation, while preparing to travel with their mother for an appointment, Nex collapsed in the family's living room. Sue called 911, saying that Nex's eyes had rolled in the back of her head and Nex was struggling to breathe. Nex had stopped breathing by the time EMTs arrived and was declared dead at the hospital that evening. Dan Quincy, Owasso police chief, said that no report of the incident was made to the Owasso Police Department prior to the notification at the hospital. A search warrant dated February 9th resulted in the collection of 137 pictures from the school, to swabs of stains from the bathroom, as well as records and other documents related to involved students. A February 20th statement on a Owasso police spokesman said school staff and students were being interviewed by detectives. The spokesperson also said the police investigation would be provided to the Tulsa County District Attorney's Office to review for prosecution. In February 21st statement, Owasso Police wrote on Facebook, "While the investigation continues into the altercation, preliminary information from the medical examiner's office is that a complete autopsy was performed and indicated that the descendant did not die as a result of trauma, and further comments on the cause of death are currently pending until toxicology results and other auxiliary testing results are received." Yeah, okay. On February 21st, a police department spokesperson said hallway video from inside the school showing Benedict's before and after the incident had been reviewed by investigators. On February 23rd, the Oswego police released footage from school surveillance cameras, officer-worn body cameras, and audio of the 911 calls made by Sue Benedict on February 7th and 8th. A spokesperson for the Owasso Police Department said in a statement to Popular Information that the medical examiner had not explicitly said that Benedict's death was unrelated to the head injuries, so now they're contradicting themselves, and that the Owasso police had reached out to the examiner's office in order to head off national scrutiny. Cover your ass, right? On February 23rd, in a statement by the attorney, the Benedict family said they were independently investigating Benedict's death. I would not trust anything Oklahoma's backwardsness is now doing. Like, I would not trust anything. Obviously, that, yeah. On February 27th, an Owasso police spokesperson stated in NBC News that the medical examiner's office had not ruled out the fight as a possible cause or contributor to Benedict's death, and added that people shouldn't make assumptions either way. You already said it on Facebook and everything else, dude. Now you're going back on your word. On March 13th, the Oklahoma Medical Examiner's summary report was released, ruling Benedict's cause of death as unaliving themselves from the combined toxicity of 2 pharmaceutical drugs. Which, people take both of these combined all the time. I'm not understanding. Most people, the thing is why pills are not normally successful in killing somebody is you throw up first. You normally throw up because your body just rejects it. So one of the hardest ways to hurt yourself is to take pills. And I know, like, that's one of the ways girls normally do it, and they obviously did too. But anyway, they took diphenhydramine, which is Benadryl, and fluoxetine, which I used to take all the time, which is Prozac. I have never heard of, anyway. On March 14th, family members of Benedict released a statement through their attorney and said that they had reviewed the complete autopsy report and did not want the ruling of unaliving themselves to overshadow other findings in the report, saying, rather than allow incomplete accounts to take hold and spread any further, the Benedicts feel compelled to provide a summary of those findings which have not yet been released by the medical examiner's office, particularly those that contradict allegations of the assault on Nix's being insignificant. The medical examiner found numerous areas of physical trauma over Nix's body that evidence the severity of the assault. Following the recent release of the summary autopsy report, a police investigation was reported to continue into the school bathroom incident and whether Benedict was subject to gender-based violence. No way. You mean she was being bullied, and all of a sudden it's not gender-based, right? Hello, doubt it was. Tulsa County District Attorney Steve Kunzweiler announced that no criminal charges would be filed in the response to the altercation on February 7th on Benedict's death on February 8th. Kunzweiler stated detectives had assessed the altercation as an instance of mutual combat, and based on the evidence collected, he agreed with this assessment. Kunzweiler also said that police had found some brief notes written by Benedict which appeared to be related to the unaliving, and said the contents were of personal nature. According to Kunzweiler, the notes do not make any reference to the earlier fight or difficulties at school, which makes me think they were written a lot earlier. The Tulsa County District Attorney's Office would not release the notes. Kunzweiler also noted that the medications found to be the cause of death was legally available within the home where Benedict resided. On March 27th, the Oklahoma Medical Examiner released a full autopsy report with a toxicology report citing the unaliving themselves as Benedict's manner of death. Combined toxicology of Benadryl and Prozac was ruled to be the cause of death. The report also referenced handwritten notes from Benedict's room by family members that were suggestive of self-harm. The Oklahoma Medical Examiner report also described several injuries on Benedict's head and neck, including 2 contusions, 2 small lacerations, 2 abrasions, and hemorrhaging on their right cheek and ear. Other injuries noted by the report included injuries described as likely caused by attempted resuscitation, as well as various contusions and abrasions on Benedict's limbs. The report also states injuries to Benedict's from the altercation on February 7th was not lethal, and it found no brain injury. How if they passed out? That's usually a concussion, which is usually a brain injury. You pass that for a minute. Yeah, that's what I said. I make notes to myself sometimes. Okay, other medical examiners and forensic pathologists reacting to the report have suggested that the Prozac levels in the report were not necessarily alarming. The Benadryl was likely elevated to ranges consistent with causes of death. Once again, you normally throw out first. The medical examiner also noted that Benedict's medical history included bipolar disorder, depression, anxiety, self-harm, and chronic tobacco and marijuana abuse. Because, yeah, none of those had anything to do except for the self-harm, maybe. Early news reports following Benedict's death on February 8, 2024 were limited and misgendered Benedict. The Los Angeles Blade, an LGBTQ newspaper, reported on Benedict's death on February 19th, and more in-depth and widespread news coverage began on February 20th. A national hotline run by the independent Indianapolis-based Rainbow Youth Project reported receiving over 200 calls from Oklahoma in the weekend following Benedict's death, more than 300 times the usual amount, with many mentioning Benedict's death and most reporting having been bullied. 2024, people, get over it. We're out and we're proud and we're not going anywhere. By March 7th, contacts had continued to exceed the typical amount, including close to 1,000 calls and online messages after February 16th. According to Lance Preston, the founder of the Rainbow Youth Project, greater awareness of the service offered by the group contributed to the increase in contacts. In a letter to parents reported on February 16, 2024, Owasso Public Schools said it would be increasing the number of security personnel within their district, updating their safety drills and rules, and providing additional counseling services for students affected by the death. Instead of changing backwards beliefs. Okay. On February 22nd, Owasso Police Department spokesperson Nick Boatman said that a number of threats have been made towards Owasso Public Schools following Benedict's death. Oh no. Like, you feel unsafe. Don't do it, you guys, though, okay? Like, don't retaliate against these ignorant people, okay? Antagonizing, you know the people that I got caught with? You mean from the other day? Yeah. The vaping situations? Yeah, yeah, okay. Don't know each other. Well, you know of each other with the vape situations and all that? Or... No, before this, we had no regret. Before this ISP thing, we never saw each other. The freshmen were sophomore. Okay. We didn't know it.
Benedict and friends, along with the officers, all went into the bathroom. Benedict says in the bathroom, the girls were laughing at Benedict's group.
They were talking about us in front of us. And so I went up there and I poured water on them. And then all three of them came at me.
Benedict says that's when the fight started and Benedict fought back.
Came at me, they grabbed on my hair, I grabbed onto them. I threw one of them into a paper towel dispenser. And then they got my legs out from under me and got me on the ground.
The officer tells Benedict's mother she can file a police report against the other girls involved in the fight, but Benedict could also face charges for starting the fight.
The courts are going to look at it as it's a mutual fight. Okay, so both parties are victims, but both parties are also suspects in this. You know what I'm saying? You're a offender as well. So I will absolutely report it. That's what you want. I can get, okay, but I'm just letting you know. If the other party wants to do the same thing, she's going to be, the assault will be on her as well. Okay. Portland stated Washoe Police Department had brought several other agencies, including the Department of Homeland Security and the FBI. Now they're bringing in the big guns. As part of the statewide task force to track down the individuals who had made their threats. Be careful, they might have glitter. Oh. Benedict's family issued a statement asking that threats against school employees and students should cease. They also requested that authorities take action in Benedict's case and called for greater action to address school bullying. Yeah, why isn't the FBI investigating this? The Benedict's death has drawn international attention and ignited additional backlash from the LGBTQ plus advocates, some of whom believe that the bullying Benedict's faced is connected to the dozens of state bills targeting the community in recent years in Oklahoma and other states. In the weeks following Benedict's death, their friends and classmates led a walkout at school to protect what they described as an unsafe environment for LGBTQ students. Executive Director of the LGBTQ Advisory, Nicole McCaffrey, Group Freedom Oklahoma, responded to the full autopsy with a message to Oklahoma lawmakers at the end of the state's legislative session years. McAfee called on them to send a message of adamant opposition to anti-LGBTQ plus legislation and policies, and to support measures that enable more empathy, kindness, and compassion, not less. McAfee added, Nix should be alive, and the very least we can do is Nix's memories is to demonstrate our commitment to building a better world that makes it impossible for these heartbreaking tragedies to happen again. Soon after Nick's death, the Human Rights Campaign urged the Department of Justice and the Department of Education to request investigation of Owasso High School and whether the school had unlawfully failed to address the discrimination and harassment to which Nix was subjected. They are so against schools teaching their students about trans and all those things. But the thing is they're trying to teach them to be more welcoming and more understanding. I mean, I get it. You want your kid to learn about those things, but do you teach it at home? How are you teaching it? 100 years version of it, or the real version, nowadays version? March 1st, the Office for Civil Rights Division of the Department of Education informed the Human Rights Campaign that they were opening an investigation into the Oklahoma School District, and specifically whether the district failed to appropriately respond to an alleged harassment of students in a manner consistent with the requirements of Title IV, and whether the district failed to appropriately respond to alleged harassment of students in a manner. A spokesperson for the school district said the district is committed to cooperating with the federal officials and believed that the complaint submitted by the Human Rights Campaign is not supported by the facts and is without merit. Vigils honoring Benedict were held between February 23rd and 25th in various locations in Benedict's home state of Oklahoma, including Owasso, as well as across the United States. During the vigil in Owasso, some participants used masculine pronouns when referring to Benedict, and some friends later told NBC News that Benedict used he/him pronouns primarily and also used they/them pronouns. On February 26th, at least 40 students at Owasso High School participated in school walkouts, citing concerns about bullying and in support of the LGBTQ+ community at the school and in the city. One of the students organizers of the walkout, who is non-binary, told NBC News in advance of the walkout, "To me, it doesn't matter if Nex passed from traumatic brain injury or if they passed from unaliving themselves. What matters is the fact that they died after getting bullied, and that is a story from so many other students." And they said, "I've been close to ending myself because of bullying. It's not new for so many students." On February 20th, Oklahoma State Representative Maury Turner, the first publicly non-binary state lawmaker, described Benedict's death as a direct result of a failed administration in a public school that didn't value the life of a trans student. The Congressional Equality Caucus said in a written statement on February 21st, "It's more important than ever to stand up to anti-trans hate, violence, and legislation across the country." United States Secretary of Education Miguel Cordona wrote in a statement on February 21st, "I can't put into words the grief that I feel for Nex, their family, and their community. It is our responsibility to protect all students by creating spaces where they feel safe to be their true selves." Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma superintendent, a douchebag of public instruction, defended Oklahoma's anti-LGBTQ policies in February 23rd interview with the New York Times regarding Benedict's death, saying, "There's not multiple genders, there's two. That's how God created us," Walters also said. "I think it's terrible that we've had some radical leftists who decide not to run with a political agenda and try to weave a narrative that hasn't been true. And you've taken a tragedy and you've had some folks try to exploit it for political gain. There's a reason why God and the Bible are not allowed in public schools. If you want to brainwash your children at home, go right on for it. Have them homeschool and go to private school. That is why God is not supposed to be mentioned in a public school environment. He's a superintendent. He needs to fucking be fired." During a February 23rd panel in Tahlequah, Oklahoma, Republican State Senator douchebag Tom Woods said that his heart goes out in tragedies to Benedict's death, and said that Oklahoma is a religious Christian and a moral state whose consistency doesn't want that filth in Oklahoma. He literally said that filth in Oklahoma. Oklahoma Senate President Prop Tempore Greg Treat responded by describing comments by Woods as reprehensible and inappropriate, and not any way reflective of myself and Senate Republican caucus, Senate leadership, or Senate overall. So he needs to be removed from Senate. On February 23rd, Vice President Kamala Harris said that her heart goes out to Nex Benedict's family and that she stood with LGBTQ youth. That's the only good thing she's done since she's been a part of any of this. I think all political people are crooks. I guess this is me for making I think all of them are crooks, but I don't agree with any of them. But on March 14th, President Joe Biden released a statement that said every young person deserves to have the fundamental right and freedom to be who they are and feel safe and supported at school and in their communities. And it said that he and First Lady Jill Biden were heartbroken by the loss. It's the only thing that those people have done that I agree with, and that is support us. Biden also said non-binary and transgender people are some of the bravest Americans I know. In memory of Nex, we must all recommit to our work to end discrimination and address the unaliving crisis impacting too many non-binary and transgender children. Parents and schools must take reports of bullying seriously. Yeah. On February 19th, LGBTQ advocacy group Freedom Oklahoma released a statement describing the reported incident that preceded Benedict's death as a possible hate-motivated attack, while acknowledging a still incomplete picture of what happened and offered information about support resources such as Trans Lifeline, the Trevor Project, and LGBTQ Hotline. The group linked to the death of Benedict to Oklahoma laws and policies and related rhetoric, including statements by Shia Rakuk and her libs of TikTok social media accounts. The ACLU and Lambda Legal also condemned the legislative environment, including the recent passage of Oklahoma Bill 615, and said that it had led to Nix's death. A February 28th open letter organized by the advocacy groups addressed to more than 350 local states and national organizations such as well as public figures requested an investigation of the Oklahoma State Department of Education and the removal of Walters from his position, accusing him of allowing rampant harassment and creating an environment that allows for hostility and harm. Public figures who signed the letter include Kristen Cunwith, Demi Lovato, Cynthia Nixon, K.D. Lang, Jonathan Van Ness, Amy Schneider, Peppermint, that is Amy Roberts, and Tommy Dorman. Probably put pictures of each of them, I'm not sure who they are. Walters described the letter as a standard tactics of the radical left. Of course he did. On March 6th, about 6 members of the anti-LGBTQ Roseboro Baptist Church group held a demonstration outside of Owasso High School for about an hour, which was responded to by several hundred counter-protesters by local and national organizations, including the Rainbow Youth Project. Kelly Robinson, the president. The president of the Human Rights Campaign released a statement after the release of the summary report that continued to call for investigation into Benedict's death. It said Nex was failed by so many and should still be here today, and expressed condolences to Benedict's family. Freedom Oklahoma released a statement that said, "We have responsibility to acknowledge the role anti-trans policies and rhetoric continue to play in the summary report. Only further emphasizes the state of crisis our youth are in." Ryan Walters, the Oklahoma Superintendent of Public Instruction, released a statement that said the loss of our student in Owasso is tragic for the family and the community and our state. Like you care, Ryan Walters, it's partly your fault. The LGBTQ groups pushing the false narrative are one of the biggest threats to our democracy, and I remain more than ever committed to never backing down from a woke mob. Okay, go fuck yourself. Oklahoma Attorney General Genter Damon posted a statement on X stating his heart is broken by Benedict's death, and the medical examiner's finding of self-ending makes me even more concerned that bullying played a role in the terrible death. March 13th, Democratic Oklahoma State Representative Maury Turner said whether or not it was self-done, the rhetoric that we share on the House floor, the bills that we wrote, not even the bills that we passed, but the bills that we write, have very detrimental effect on the youth of Oklahoma. No way. Oklahoma House Democratic leader Cindy Munson released a statement that said, I believe Nex Benedict's death is a direct result of a society and government that consistently pushes back and restricts their identity and loss of other LGBTQ plus individuals. How many people have to die, you guys? To LGBTQ plus fan people grappling with this tragedy, we see you and we are doing everything we can to stop the harmful legislation and policy that attack your existence. On March 14th, a group of Republican members of the Oklahoma House of Representatives issued a statement that said the tragic death of Nex Benedict is a harsh reminder of the power that words have. And bills. After the March 21st announcement by the DA's office, the Human Rights Campaign renewed its call for an independent investigation and described Benedict as being failed by their school and elected officials who allowed culture of bullying and harassment to grow unchecked. GLAAD President Sarah Kate Ellis also called for independent investigation and stated everyone from Superintendent Walters and Owasso High School to the uncredited since 2009 State Medical Examiner's Office, the District Attorney and Owasso Police Department have failed Nex. Wow, everybody failed Nex. Nicole McAfee of Freedom, Oklahoma responded to Waller's use of Benedict's birth name, saying that a statement that names a trans victim as its opening sentence is one that clearly indicates the brand of justice doled out by D.A. Conwiller's office, one that does not include a respect to spirit, transgender, or gender nonconforming people. In response to the release of the full report, the president of the Human Rights Campaign stated the full report does little to fill in the gaps in information about the day or the more than a year of bullying and harassment that led up to it. Freedom of Oklahoma asked Oklahoma lawmakers to oppose anti-LGBTQ plus laws and said the very least we can do is Nex's memory is demonstrate our commitment to building a better world that makes it impossible for this heartbreaking tragedy to happen again. Again, I will put here the prevention line of self-harm and everything. I've been trying to not do 43-minute videos, but this was a very important video to me. Again, trying to be a little more professional about my videos. I work knocks, I work all the time, so yeah. Bear with me, like and subscribe, please. It doesn't hurt you to like and subscribe, okay? It doesn't hurt you. Not like I post a lot, so it's not like my videos are gonna bombard your feed, okay? But anyways, please be kind to everybody around you. Do not bully. Do not be mean. We're all different. We are all the creators, whatever, creatures or whatever. We're all made differently, and that's what makes us beautiful. Anyways, yeah, I gotta edit this video, or not edit, but add things to this video. So yeah.